Welcome, my soft-thinking listener. You have found yourself in the company of the Sleepy Sloth once again, a slow, scientifically minded fellow who enjoys facts, time zones, and the delicate drift of hours across the earth. I must tell you something before we begin. Today, I consider myself a scientist in the quiet field of timekeeping geography. A scientist who is almost always correct, except for those rare moments when I am not. And even then, I prefer to drift gently onward, rather than fuss over it. Because what truly matters is the information itself. Before I start, please, let me know, what is the most boring thing you would secretly love hearing about? Let me know gently, in the comments. Now, let us begin today's episode, on the peaceful subject of the world's earliest time zones. No one asked for this, and yet, here we are, floating first to the remote stillness of etc/GMT+12, a designation that sounds like a code, and yet it is simply the label for regions existing 12 whole hours ahead of the Greenwich meridian. This time zone is a curious construct, not tied to a specific nation or territory, but instead a technical placeholder used by computing systems and databases, designed to represent places on the farthest eastern edge of the Earth's time reckoning. Often, it is associated with tiny, isolated islands and research stations scattered in the vast Pacific Ocean or Antarctic waters, where the new day begins before almost anywhere else on the planet. This zone effectively adds half a day to coordinated universal time, creating a subtle, invisible line where dates flip quietly in the night, far beyond the bustle of cities and clocks most know. Its existence ensures that the Earth's rotation and human timekeeping remain in sync, a reminder that time is a careful balance between geography and human design. Let us drift, ever so slowly, into this unseen corner of the global clockwork. This technical label, etc/GMT+12, is often found within computer systems that require a uniform way to represent time zones far removed from populated centers. It helps synchronize international data flows, ensuring that timestamps on files, communications, and satellite signals maintain order across the globe's many spinning hours. Even though no large communities live fully within this zone, the concept remains essential, an unseen thread in the intricate tapestry of global time. Beneath the surface of this quiet number lies a profound coordination that allows humanity's scattered digital heartbeat to keep pace with the Earth's steady rotation. The zone's name might seem abstract, but its function is deeply practical, to maintain harmony between the measurable passing of hours and the planet's gentle turning, a dance so subtle that most never notice it, but which silently governs everything. Let us drift, ever so slowly, backward in time, to the gentle islands of the Pacific/Midway, fixed at 11:00, a sliver of ocean in the northern Pacific, home to the Midway Atoll, a cluster of tiny coral islands that serve mostly as a wildlife refuge today. Its time zone ticks 11 hours behind coordinated universal time, a quiet, steady pulse far from the world's noisy metropolises. The Midway Atoll is historically famous for events long past, but here, we focus on its placid temporal existence. The zone's offset was established to keep local time aligned with the sun's apparent motion, ensuring that mornings and evenings feel natural for the sparse population of wildlife managers and visiting scientists. Despite its remoteness, the atoll's time zone must integrate perfectly into international systems, helping pilots, satellites, and sailors navigate the vast Pacific with precision. This fact is not exciting. Not even a little bit. And that is just perfect. The 11-hour offset places Midway well ahead of the continental United States time, creating a curious separation of days across the ocean's expanse. For example, when the sun rises over New York, it may already be afternoon on Midway, a subtle reminder of the Earth's spherical nature. This time zone supports the coordination of conservation efforts protecting endangered species such as the Licon albatross and the Hawaiian monk seal, whose life cycles follow this gentle clock. The small research teams stationed here rely on this steady, unchanging temporal anchor to plan their quiet work of observation, further weaving the atoll's silent hours into the global fabric of time. Now we float a little further. To Pacific/Honolulu at 10:00. The warm Hawaiian Islands, where days stretch slowly and the sun lingers lazily in the sky, casting long shadows over volcanic mountains and palm-lined beaches. The Honolulu time zone, recognized widely by computers and calendars, governs a place where the tropical climate encourages an unhurried rhythm of life. Its 10-hour offset from coordinated universal time places it perfectly to match the daily solar cycle, meaning that sunrise and sunset keep a dependable schedule year-round, without the usual complications of daylight saving adjustments. The Hawaiian Islands' position in the Central Pacific makes this time zone one of the most stable and unchanging on Earth. It quietly ensures that everything from business hours to broadcast schedules flows smoothly, an invisible guardian of daily routine amid the ocean's vastness. The absence of daylight saving time means that the rhythms of dawn and dusk remain familiar and comforting, allowing residents and visitors alike to settle into a predictable day. The volcanic origins of the islands, with their rugged terrain and black sand beaches, mark a landscape sculpted over millions of years, where the gentle passing of hours softly governs waves, trade winds, and the quiet growth of tropical flora. Even as modern life hums in Honolulu's bustling streets, time here flows without interruption, a slow current beneath the vibrant surface of island living. This zone exemplifies a balance between nature's cycles and human organization, a soft harmony that whispers through the palms and caresses the warm ocean breeze. But first, a slow little detour. For this extra interesting fact, there is also Pacific/Marquesas at 09:30, the rare time zone used by the Marquesas Islands in French Polynesia. Unlike most zones, which align with whole-hour offsets from coordinated universal time, the Marquesas Islands have chosen this unusual half-hour difference, setting them apart like a clock that enjoys a tiny nap between the minutes. This choice, rooted in historical and local preference, means that the sun's position at noon more closely matches the clock's reading, an example of how human timekeeping can adapt subtly to geography. This fractional offset is shared by only a handful of places worldwide, making it a curious anomaly in the otherwise orderly world of global timekeeping. It reminds us gently that time is not only a rigid number but sometimes a soft, flowing concept tailored by culture and location. The Marquesas, a cluster of volcanic islands scattered over hundreds of miles of blue Pacific, embrace this half-hour difference as part of their identity, allowing their days to unfold with a rhythm closer to the natural progression of light and shade. The islands, rich with lush vegetation and steep cliffs, watch the sun drift slowly across the sky according to this precise timing. The offset aids fishermen, farmers, and families in syncing their days with the environment's subtle changes, a tender balance of human design and nature's pulse. This fractional time zone quietly celebrates the gentle quirks of the Earth's rotation, a whisper that not all time is counted in neat, uniform increments. Now, we drift to America/Anchorage at 09:00. The Alaskan time zone, vast, cold, and sparsely populated, stretching across glaciers, mountains, and boreal forests. Here, time is measured with the same careful ticking as any desk clock, but it feels different, slow, patient, as if the long winter nights themselves stretch moments into hours. The Anchorage time zone matches Alaska Standard Time, which shifts during daylight saving months, a practice that introduces a small, seasonal bend to the otherwise steady march of seconds. For the few 100,000 inhabitants spread across this immense land, the clock's rhythm governs everything from fishing schedules to flights over endless snowfields, grounding daily life in a consistent temporal framework despite nature's extremes. The time zone's vastness encompasses a range of environments, from the icy Arctic tundra to temperate rainforests, each experiencing daylight in profoundly different ways, yet unified beneath one temporal umbrella. This synchronization allows transportation systems, government services, and communication networks to function cohesively, despite the staggering distances and rugged terrain. The clock here is a steady companion, a reminder of human presence quietly threading through the endless, cold wilderness, keeping time in a place where nature often seems timeless itself. We wander onward to America/Los Angeles at 08:00. The Pacific Time Zone, covering the gentle hum of cities and coastlines alike, from foggy San Francisco to sunny Los Angeles. This time zone, deeply embedded in global commerce and culture, shifts twice a year with daylight saving time, nudging the clocks forward and back to better match daylight hours in warmer months. It is a reminder that even time can be persuaded to bend just a little to human needs. The region's geography, with its sprawling urban areas and serene beaches, sets a calm yet busy tempo for its inhabitants. The time zone governs the schedules of millions of people, film studios, tech companies, and coffee shops alike, all humming in quiet synchronization. This zone's history stretches back to the expansion of the United States and the development of the railroads, where standard time zones were first created to bring order to the chaos of local solar times. Over the decades, the Pacific Time Zone has become a symbol of both innovation and relaxation, balancing the fast pace of industries like entertainment and technology with the steady, natural rhythm of coastal tides and mountain sunrises. The gentle shift of daylight saving time serves as a soft reminder that human life is intertwined delicately with the sun's own dance. At America/Denver at 07:00, we find time nestled in the mountains, where minutes meet high air and quiet peaks. The Mountain Time Zone marks this territory, encompassing parts of several states including Colorado and Utah. Here, time shifts for daylight saving as well, adjusting to longer summer days in the high elevations. The clock here seems to echo the rhythm of mountain life, steady, deliberate, with enough breathing space between the ticks to appreciate the vast open skies and whispering pines. It's a zone that governs everything from ski lift schedules to the opening hours of cozy mountain cafes. The gentle seasonal time shift brings a slow unfolding of daylight in the summer months, allowing the mountains to bask longer in sunlight before the dark arrives softly in the evening. The region's natural beauty and outdoor lifestyle intertwine with this temporal ebb and flow, as hikers, skiers, and small-town residents rely on the clock's steady hand to pace their days. This time zone, marked by a blend of wilderness and human settlement, reflects a slow, thoughtful approach to time, one that mirrors the patient growth of ancient trees and the slow slide of snow down a rocky slope. The mountain air itself seems to carry the seconds gently forward, under the watchful gaze of peaks that have witnessed countless sunrises and sunsets, each measured and counted with quiet precision. Then comes America/Chicago at 06:00. A wide swath of the Central Plains, where cornfields and skyscrapers alike live under the same numbered hour. This central time zone plays host to large swaths of agricultural heartland and industrial cities, a blend of landscapes that rely on precise timing to coordinate planting seasons, factory shifts, and river traffic on the Mississippi. Like many North American zones, it adjusts seasonally for daylight saving, a twice-yearly nudge that shifts human routines gently but perceptibly. The clock here beats in steady cadence with the vast Midwestern skies and the endless cycles of planting and harvest. This region, sometimes called the breadbasket of America, depends deeply on the delicate synchronization of time with nature's rhythms. Farmers track the sunlight hours meticulously to optimize crop growth, while cities such as Chicago, with its towering architecture and sprawling transit systems, organize millions of lives in careful temporal harmony. The Mississippi River, winding slowly and powerfully through the heartland, supports commerce and transport that hinge on schedules governed by this time zone. The gentle transitions of daylight saving time create subtle shifts in daily life. Early sunrises in summer invite morning jogs along lakeshore trails, while the early darkness of winter draws families inside, gathering around quiet fires. Here, time is a steady companion, measured with the same patience as the fields lying fallow beneath winter's hush. At America/new_York at 05:00. Time passes over rivers, harbors, and bustling spaces in the Eastern Time Zone, home to one of the world's busiest financial centers and countless cultural landmarks. Though it is a simple number on a list from a distance, this time zone anchors the lives of millions, coordinating subway schedules, office hours, and television broadcasts with relentless precision. The region observes daylight saving time, shifting clocks forward in spring and back in autumn, a practice meant to better align waking hours with daylight. The Eastern Time Zone often serves as a reference point for the entire country, quietly setting the pace for many activities and communications. New York City's ceaseless energy pulses in tandem with this clock, as millions navigate crowded streets, theaters, and boardrooms, all synced to this shared temporal heartbeat. From the gentle rise of the sun over the Hudson River to the glittering lights of Times Square after dusk, the zone holds an invisible but firm grip on the rhythm of commerce, culture, and daily life. The long history of this zone traces back to the adoption of Standard Time in the late 19th century, a system designed to bring order to railroads and telegraphs. Today, it continues to bind together a vast and diverse population under a single, steady measure of time that carries the weight of history and the pulse of modernity alike. We now move to America/Caracas at 04:30. A precise, uncommon offset holding onto its 30 extra minutes like a small keepsake in a drawer. Venezuela's unique half-hour difference from the usual hour-based offsets reflects a deliberate decision made in the mid-20th century to better align local time with solar noon. This fractional zone sets Caracas apart from neighboring countries and is one of only a few such offsets worldwide. Despite occasional discussions of adjusting this time, the half-hour difference remains, quietly marking days without fuss or fanfare, a reminder that even time zones can carry a touch of local character and tradition. This gentle divergence from the typical full-hour system allows Caracas's mornings and afternoons to feel more naturally connected to the sun's arc across the sky, a subtle dance between human measurement and celestial motion. The city itself, nestled in a valley surrounded by the Avila mountain range, moves through its daily routines accompanied by this quietly distinct clock. The absence of daylight saving time here means the hours pass steadily, unaffected by seasonal shifts. This small temporal quirk, like a whispered secret, invites those who notice it to ponder the ways time is not just counted but felt differently depending on where one finds oneself on the globe. At 04:00, we find ourselves in the gentle hours of America/Halifax. A time zone covering parts of Canada's maritime provinces, where the seas whisper and the slow rhythm of tides mark the passing days. The Atlantic Time Zone, as it's often called, holds a delicate position 4 hours behind Coordinated Universal Time, offering a slow but steady cadence to life along rugged coastlines and quaint fishing villages. Here, time adjusts twice yearly with daylight saving changes, nudging clocks forward in spring and back in autumn, allowing the day to stretch longer when the sun graces the sky for more hours. The maritime climate influences this zone's rhythm, with fog rolling softly over harbors and pine forests standing silent in cool morning light. It is a time that invites slow walks along rocky shores and quiet moments watching seabirds glide through salted air. The population here blends city bustle with small-town calm, all bound together by the shared, measured ticking of the clock. Nova Scotia's capital, Halifax, serves as a cultural and economic hub, where harbor lights flicker beneath the steady march of time, and fishing boats return after days at sea, guided by this quiet temporal order. The Atlantic Time Zone's embrace is one of balance, between land and sea, work and rest, light and dark, woven into the fabric of daily life like a gentle, ceaseless tide. Drifting gently. At 03:30, the America/SD_John's time zone presents a rare and curious half-hour difference, unique to Newfoundland and Canada. This fractional offset places the region 3.5 hours behind Coordinated Universal Time, an unusual choice shaped by geography and history. The island's position at the eastern edge of North America means that solar noon does not align neatly with full hours, so this half-hour shift offers a closer match to the sun's journey across the sky. The Newfoundland time zone embraces this subtle nuance, reflecting a local character that quietly resists the world's rigid time grids. Life here flows with the steady pulse of fishing seasons, fog-draped mornings, and vibrant cultural traditions. The half-hour difference can sometimes surprise travelers and systems alike, but it endears itself as a gentle reminder that time is, at its heart, a human-made rhythm shaped by nature's own clock. The island's rugged coastlines, where waves softly lap against weathered rocks, play host to this unique temporal beat, guiding the daily activities of fishermen who set out before dawn's first light, timed perfectly to this distinct zone. Local festivals and folklore, preserved over centuries, unfold according to this gentle, slightly offset cadence, anchoring communities to a shared sense of place and time. This quiet divergence from the standard hourly rhythm speaks softly of the balance between human choice and the sun's own course, a delicate nod to the peculiarities that make the world's clocks so endlessly fascinating. Softly, we float toward 03:00, the time of America/Sao_Paulo, encompassing much of Brazil's southeastern regions. This zone marks a 3-hour difference behind Coordinated Universal Time and is home to some of the continent's largest cities, where bustling streets meet slow river currents and endless greenery. The São Paulo time zone observes daylight saving time sporadically, having adjusted its use over recent years, a reflection of balancing energy demands and social rhythms. Here, tropical and subtropical climates mingle, influencing daily patterns of work and rest. The city's skyline hums with activity, yet beneath the surface, time marches on with the same steady pulse that governs distant forests and quiet rural towns. The synchronization of clocks in this zone ensures that commerce, communication, and travel flow without jarring interruption, weaving together the vibrant fabric of life under the steady hand of time. The São Paulo metropolitan area, one of the largest urban conglomerates on Earth, coordinates millions of lives through this shared temporal reference, where the rhythms of public transport, business hours, and cultural events align delicately with the sun's arc. Outside the city, the lush Atlantic forest spreads quietly beneath this same temporal umbrella, a vast and ancient ecosystem whose slow growth contrasts gently with urban bustle. The region's sporadic observance of daylight saving time illustrates a pragmatic approach to time management, aiming to conserve energy during longer daylight hours while respecting the natural cycles of human activity and rest. Let us float gently onward to 02:00. The technical designation etc/GMT+2, which, despite sounding cryptic, serves as an essential tool in global timekeeping. This offset represents regions 2 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time and is often used by systems to categorize time zones not aligned with politically defined boundaries. It may correspond to areas in parts of Western Africa or oceanic regions, though often it functions as a placeholder in databases and computer systems. The +2 offset subtly shifts the day, so mornings begin and end slightly earlier relative to GMT. This artificial zone reminds us that behind every clock, there is a layer of human organization, sorting, and naming, helping machines and humans alike make sense of the spinning Earth's complex dance. Though intangible and abstract, this designation quietly supports everything from scheduling international meetings to synchronizing satellites, an invisible thread weaving together our global fabric. It ensures computers, servers, and networks maintain harmony across disparate regions, managing time-stamped data with precision that feels effortless but is in fact a marvel of modern coordination. In some cases, etc/GMT+2 may also overlap with real-world territories, such as parts of southern Africa or islands in the Atlantic, lending a soft, practical dimension to what might otherwise seem a purely theoretical concept. The gentle shift of this time zone serves as a reminder that human systems must always adapt and sometimes invent, creating new ways to measure and harmonize the ceaseless turning of the planet beneath our feet. A slow little detour. For this extra interesting fact, add 01:00 lies. Atlantic/Azores, a time zone that governs the Azores archipelago, a scattering of volcanic islands in the North Atlantic Ocean. These islands live an hour behind mainland Portugal's time, aligning their clocks carefully with the sun's steady path. The Azores time zone is unique in its geographic isolation, where ocean breezes and volcanic soil shape a life that moves with the tides and the ticking clock alike. Observing daylight saving time, the islands gently shift their hours to catch longer days in summer, a practice reflecting the intimate connection between human schedules and solar rhythms. This zone marks a delicate balance between European influence and Atlantic solitude, a quiet meeting point of culture and natural time. The Azores' remoteness ensures that time passes with an unhurried grace, far from the frenetic pulses of larger continents. The island's scattered position across nearly 600 kilometers of ocean means that even within this zone, subtle differences in sunlight and shadow exist, painting mornings and evenings with gentle variations. The volcanic origins of the islands contribute to fertile soils where agriculture quietly follows seasonal cycles, guided by the steady hand of this time zone's pulse. Fishermen cast nets in early dawn light that arrives precisely on the schedule marked by their clocks, while the slow rise and fall of ocean tides choreograph a natural rhythm that complements the human measurement of hours. Here, time is a patient companion, weaving together nature and habit with an ease that invites quiet reflection. Crossing the invisible line. We arrive at ±00:00. Europe/London, where time is defined by the Greenwich meridian, the very zero point of global time reckoning. The capital of the United Kingdom, London's time zone marks the baseline from which all other offsets are measured. Coordinated Universal Time and Greenwich Mean Time, often used interchangeably here, provide the world's clock with its heartbeat. London observes daylight saving time, shifting to British summer time in warmer months, nudging clocks an hour forward to capture the lingering daylight. This ancient city's pulse blends the historic with the modern. Big Ben's slow tolls echo alongside digital broadcasts, both keeping time with perfect precision. As the zero line, this zone anchors global synchronization, ensuring that international flights, financial markets, and digital communications all align like the turning cogs of a well-oiled machine. The story of Greenwich Mean Time began in the 19th century, when the Royal Observatory was established as the definitive reference point for global navigation, an attempt to unify disparate local times into one standard. The longitude line running through Greenwich serves as a quiet yet powerful reminder of humanity's need to impose order on the vast, spinning Earth. Even today, as satellite systems and atomic clocks have taken over timekeeping duties, the symbolic and practical importance of this zero hour persists. Londoners live and work with this steady, measured rhythm beneath their feet, the city's ancient streets echoing with a temporal certainty that connects them to the wider world. Moving softly to +01:00. Europe/Paris marks Central European Time, the slow, deliberate hour that governs much of continental Europe. Paris, with its café-lined boulevards and stately architecture, lives within this gentle temporal frame, which is 1 hour ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. The zone embraces daylight saving time, creating a rhythm that lengthens daylight hours in the warm seasons, inviting extended evenings filled with quiet conversations and lingering strolls. Central European Time covers a diverse region, from vineyards to bustling capitals, where time stitches together traditions, workdays, and quiet moments. This zone's steady cadence is integral to the European rhythm, a subtle thread weaving together histories and futures under the same numbered hour. The careful coordination of time across countries like France, Germany, and Italy ensures that trains and flights connect smoothly, businesses open and close in unison, and festivals unfold with synchronized grace. Here, time is not merely measured but felt, shaping the daily lives of millions. Paris, as the zone's cultural heart, pulses with a timeless elegance, where clock towers and metro stations share the same quiet beat. Seasonal shifts stretch or compress days, coaxing people outdoors to enjoy longer light in summer, while winter evenings draw city dwellers into cozy cafes warmed by soft lights and whispered conversations. The Central European time zone is thus a patient, constant presence, balancing the needs of modern life with the natural progression of light and shadow. Let us float gently onward to +02:00. The Europe/Bucharest time zone, Eastern European time, which governs Romania and neighboring countries. 2 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, it embraces daylight saving time as well, extending the day's light during warmer months. Bucharest's clocks move in harmony with city squares, mountain villages, and sprawling farmlands, each place observing the same slow tick of the shared hour. The time zone links countries across diverse landscapes, from the Black Sea's gentle shores to the Carpathian peaks, uniting cultural rhythms and human routines beneath its contemporary canopy. This zone is a reminder that while borders may separate, time often flows in harmonious streams across them. The pastoral fields where farmers tend crops, the bustling markets filled with seasonal produce, and the quiet monasteries tucked into forested hills all operate on this shared temporal stage, a delicate balance between tradition and modernity. Daylight saving time nudges the clocks forward in spring, inviting longer evenings filled with soft sunlight that lingers like a fading melody. The cities pulse with measured energy, as offices open and close according to this steady beat, while in rural corners, time seems to slow, echoing the rhythms of nature. Here, time is a gentle river, flowing steadily through varied landscapes and lives, binding them with a shared, unhurried pulse. Now we reach +03:00. The Asia/Baghdad time zone, which places the Iraqi capital 3 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. Baghdad's time governs a land rich with history, where ancient rivers like the Tigris and Euphrates have witnessed millennia pass beneath ever-turning suns. The time zone follows Arabia's Standard Time, which does not observe daylight saving time, keeping its steady pace year-round. The region's hot, arid climate influences daily schedules, often encouraging slower activity during the hottest hours, aligning human movement with the sun's arc. This zone is a silent guardian of countless stories, its clock ticking steadily as civilizations rise and rest under its temporal watch. Within this temporal frame, the city's bustling markets, call to prayers, and quiet evening gatherings all unfold with a timeless cadence. The long shadows of ancient minarets stretch slowly across sun-baked streets, their movements in harmony with the unchanging time zone. Though the world beyond shifts and changes, Baghdad's clock remains a constant, an anchor in the ever-flowing river of human history. The unyielding measure of hours here quietly respects the interplay of light and life, guiding everything from the opening of spice stalls to the winding down of daily prayers, a delicate balance between ancient rhythms and modern necessity. At +03:30, the time zone of Asia/Tehran invites us into a rhythm gently offset from its neighbors, holding on to its unusual half-hour difference from the more common full-hour increments. Iran Standard Time governs this zone, positioning Tehran and the surrounding regions 3.5 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time. This fractional offset reflects a historical choice to better align clock time with the sun's position, ensuring that noon feels closer to the actual peak of the sun in the sky. Unlike many zones that adjust for daylight saving time, Iran observes a system of advancing clocks during the warmer months and retreating them in cooler ones, a slow dance of hours that attempts to harmonize human activity with natural light. The region's varied geography, from arid deserts to bustling urban centers, experiences the passing hours framed by this delicate balance of timekeeping, where daily prayers, markets, and traffic lights all fall under the quiet sway of Tehran's clock. The half-hour difference places Tehran in a unique temporal space, where the city's ancient bazaars mingle with modern office towers, all ticking softly to this same slow pulse. Here, the call to prayer punctuates the day, echoing gently over rooftops timed precisely by this half-hour mark. Seasonal time shifts further temper the rhythm, coaxing residents to rise earlier or linger later in harmony with the sun's shifting presence, a quiet choreography of light and shadow unfolding across the city's storied streets. Floating gently onward, we enter the domain of Asia/Dubai at +04:00, where the United Arab Emirates marches steadily 4 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time. This time zone embraces a fixed offset, refusing to shift for daylight saving time, choosing instead a consistent measure throughout the year. Dubai's desert landscape, with its shimmering skyscrapers and endless sands, follows this unvarying pace, allowing commerce, tourism, and daily life to synchronize with the sun's regular path. The region's reliance on this steady rhythm simplifies international business dealings and internal coordination, while the clock quietly orchestrates the ebb and flow of bustling markets and quiet evenings. The +04:00 offset situates Dubai comfortably within the Arabian Standard Time Zone, a temporal space shared by neighboring countries that, together, embrace a smooth and predictable measure of the day. Here, the sun rises and sets with a reliable constancy, painting long shadows across sand dunes and glass towers alike. The lack of daylight saving time means the rhythm of life does not flicker with seasonal shifts, but flows in a steady, unbroken current. This stability supports everything from the precise timing of airline schedules to the coordinated opening hours of souks and shopping malls, weaving a calm order beneath the city's shimmering surface. A slow little detour, for this extra interesting fact, lies in Asia/Kabul at +04:30, where Afghanistan holds onto another rare half-hour time zone, setting its clock 4.5 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time. This choice, made to better fit solar noon to local time, places Kabul distinctively between neighboring zones, making it a unique temporal pocket in Central Asia. Afghanistan does not observe daylight saving time, allowing this offset to remain constant throughout the year. The +04:30 offset gently guides the rhythms of daily life here, where mountain air, historic bazaars, and quiet villages follow the sun's slow climb and descent. The clock, steadfast and unchanging, becomes a steady companion amid the country's varied landscapes and rich cultural tapestry, ticking away with unhurried patience. In Kabul's winding streets, the morning light filters softly through ancient arches timed precisely by this unique offset, while shepherds and farmers in distant valleys measure their days by the same slow pulse. The half-hour difference reflects a thoughtful compromise, a subtle acknowledgement that time, like the rugged terrain, is best measured with careful nuance. Though the world beyond may shift its hours, Kabul's clock holds firm, an enduring quiet witness to the cycles of human life and the slow turning of the seasons. The +05:00 time zone of Asia/Karachi marks Pakistan Standard Time, a full 5 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, with no daylight saving shifts to disturb its steady flow. This zone covers the entire country of Pakistan, from the bustling coastal city of Karachi, where the Arabian Sea laps gently against busy ports, to the more serene and mountainous northern regions where ancient peaks watch over quiet valleys. Pakistan Standard Time sets the framework for daily life, from the punctual ringing of school bells to the enthusiastic cheers of cricket matches under warm sunlight. This unchanging offset offers a reliable rhythm, allowing clocks throughout the country to tick in unison, fostering a shared sense of time amid diverse landscapes and climates. The vast geographical spread means daylight lengths vary with the seasons, stretching longer in summer and shrinking gently in winter, yet the clock remains a constant companion, guiding the flow of activity in homes, markets, and workplaces. The steady, unhurried beat of this time zone supports everything from early morning prayers in mosques to late-night conversations over cups of chai, offering a temporal harmony to a land woven from centuries of tradition and change. Moving gently to +05:30, Asia/Kolkata introduces India Standard Time, a somewhat unusual offset of 5.5 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time. This half-hour difference, much like those in Tehran and Kabul, reflects historical and geographical decisions made to align clock time more closely with the sun's passage across the vast Indian subcontinent. Unlike many nations, India does not observe daylight saving time, choosing instead to maintain this steady, unvarying tempo throughout the year. The nation's immense diversity, from snow-capped Himalayan peaks to tropical coastal shores, is unified under this singular, unchanging rhythm, where millions of watches and clocks march to the same slow, dependable beat. The steady ticking of these clocks orchestrates everything from the bustling timetables of railways stretching thousands of miles, to the sparkling premieres of Bollywood films, and to the quiet moments of daily prayers and festivals. This unique offset is a reminder that time, while often reduced to numbers and minutes, is also a cultural and geographical embrace, delicately tailored to the land it serves, binding together a nation of many tongues, landscapes, and lives under a shared temporal canopy. Softly, we float toward plus 05:45. Asia/Kathmandu time, which is Nepal Standard Time, carrying an even more unusual offset of 5 hours and 45 minutes ahead of Coordinated Universal Time. This rare 15-minute increment is one of the few such time zones worldwide, reflecting a localized adjustment designed to better fit the sun's position over Nepal's mountainous terrain. The choice of this precise offset emphasizes Nepal's distinct identity as well as the practical needs of aligning clock time with the natural rhythms of the sun, especially important in a land where steep terraced hillsides meet ancient temples and quiet villages. The steady, unchanging clock here ticks softly over landscapes shaped by slow geological and cultural time, where daily life flows gently through bustling marketplaces and tranquil prayer ceremonies. Though the 15-minute difference may seem minute in the grand scheme of hours, it shapes the cadence of daily activity with a subtlety that larger hour shifts cannot replicate. This fractional offset offers a delicate reminder that time is not always a rigid grid but sometimes a finely tuned melody, adjusted to harmonize perfectly with the local environment's unique song. At plus 06:00, we find Asia/Dhaka in Bangladesh, marking Bangladesh Standard Time, 6 full hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time. This complete hour offset serves a nation defined by vast river deltas, lush greenery, and vibrant cities. Bangladesh does not currently observe daylight saving time, preferring the stability and simplicity of a constant clock to guide the diverse rhythms of daily life, from bustling market openings to the solemn timing of religious observances. The time zone aligns naturally with the country's geographical position, helping keep solar noon near the middle of the day for most regions, a subtle but important alignment that makes the sun's highest point correspond closely to the clock's noon. The rhythmic ticking of Dhaka's clocks accompanies the slow, steady swell of monsoon rains and the quiet dawn mists rising from fertile fields and riverbanks. This steady temporal embrace gently frames a country of many lives, where time moves with the ebb and flow of water, people, and traditions, all intertwined beneath a shared and unchanging measure of hours. The gentle plus 06:30 offset introduces us to Asia/Rangoon, or Yangon, the former capital of Myanmar, where Myanmar Standard Time quietly holds sway. This half-hour time zone, 6.5 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, is a subtle testament to how local decisions gently mold the vast framework of global timekeeping to better align solar time with the rhythms of daily life. Myanmar, like a few other places around the world, does not observe daylight saving time, allowing this unique timing to remain steady and unchanging throughout the seasons, a calm beacon amid the shifting patterns of sunlight. Here, the clock ticks steadily over lush tropical landscapes, where pagodas rise slowly through morning mist, their spires piercing soft clouds as monks begin their quiet prayers. River banks bustle softly with fishermen and merchants, their lives unfolding in a measured, almost meditative tempo, perfectly in tune with the sun's gentle arc. This fractional hour adds a delicate complexity to the otherwise orderly world of global time zones, a whisper of local culture and history woven into the steady rhythm of hours. It reminds us how time, though often rigid, can also be a soft, flowing river shaped by place and tradition. Softly stepping into +07:00, we find ourselves immersed in the steady pulse of Asia/Bangkok, the time zone of Thailand Standard Time, set 7 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time. Thailand's choice to forego daylight saving time means that this offset remains constant year-round, offering a reliable temporal framework across a land of verdant jungles, bustling urban markets, and serene Buddhist temples. The steady tick of this clock governs the lively streets of Bangkok, where tuk-tuks hum through traffic and fragrant street food stalls bloom with the day's offerings. Across wide latitudes, from northern mountains to southern beaches, this consistent timekeeping umbrella supports the ebb and flow of daily routines, early morning prayers, midday lunches, and evening festivals under lantern-lit skies. Thailand's place within Southeast Asia's time tapestry is one of connection and harmony, linking seamlessly with neighboring countries whose clocks tick similarly, ensuring smooth flows of commerce, travel, and communication. Here, the turning of hours feels like the slow dance of leaves in a gentle breeze, each moment unfolding with quiet purpose beneath a warm tropical sun. Let us float gently onward to +08:00, where Asia/Shanghai holds court within China's Standard Time, marking a fixed 8-hour advance over Coordinated Universal Time. China's choice to maintain a single, unified time zone for its vast territory, spanning approximately 5 geographical time zones, is a remarkable human design meant to foster national unity and administrative simplicity. Shanghai, a sprawling economic and cultural metropolis, follows Beijing time strictly, coordinating bustling markets, financial districts, and river promenades under one shared clock. This centralized timekeeping means that in western regions such as Xinjiang, the sun can rise and set at hours that feel quite unusual compared to the clock, creating a fascinating tension between natural solar time and human-imposed order. China does not observe daylight saving time, preserving a steady pulse that beats through bustling cities, tranquil rural landscapes, and high mountain villages alike. The +08:00 offset serves as a gentle reminder of how time can both unify and create unique local experiences, a vast river flowing through millions of lives while always turning softly beneath the same sun. At +08:45, we drift quietly into the rare and quietly intriguing time zone of Australia/Eucla, nestled in a narrow sliver of Western Australia. This unusual offset, 8 hours and 45 minutes ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, distinguishes Eucla from the more conventional whole hour and half-hour zones that dominate most regions of the world. The fractional timing reflects thoughtful local decisions, designed to better align clock time with the position of the sun, allowing for a more natural and comfortable rhythm to the day for residents of this remote, sparsely populated area. Eucla occupies a unique temporal pocket on the border between Western Australia and South Australia, gently bridging the hour difference between two larger neighboring zones with its soft, idiosyncratic ticking. The landscape itself echoes this quiet peculiarity, where endless deserts stretch alongside shimmering salt lakes, and the sky seems to measure time in slow, deliberate breaths. Life here moves with a tranquil grace, paced by this singular half-hour offset, a whisper that time, though often shaped by rigid grids, can also bend gently to human geography and preference, unfolding softly like the turning of weathered clock gears. Let us float gently onward to +09:00, where Asia/Tokyo marks Japan Standard Time, a full 9 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time without the adjustments of daylight saving time. Japan, a country where ancient temples nestle alongside gleaming skyscrapers, keeps its daily rhythm steady and uninterrupted by clock changes. Tokyo, the sprawling capital, orchestrates a symphony of life from the early morning rush of bullet trains to the soft glow of paper lanterns lining quiet alleyways at night. This single, unchanging time zone blankets the entire archipelago, stretching from the northern island of Hokkaido to the subtropical south of Okinawa, offering a unified tempo to a land rich with contrasts. The decision to forego daylight saving time means that the sun's journey across the sky sets the natural rhythm, from the first birdsong at dawn to the peaceful hush of twilight over rice paddies. In Japan, time is both measured and felt, a delicate dance between tradition and modernity, where the clock's quiet ticking accompanies tea ceremonies, business meetings, and festivals under cherry blossoms, all flowing gently beneath the watchful gaze of the sun. Softly, we move to +09:30 and the Australia/Darwin time zone, known as Australian Central Standard Time, which covers the Northern Territory with its distinctive half-hour offset from neighboring zones. This time zone, 9.5 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, embraces a steady pace throughout the year, as daylight saving time is not observed here. Darwin's clock aligns with the natural world in a landscape marked by tropical monsoon rains, sprawling mangrove forests, and expansive skies that stretch endlessly, painted with soft pastels at dawn and dusk. The half-hour difference from adjacent Western and Eastern Australian time zones quietly asserts a sense of local identity and continuity amidst the vastness of the continent. Life unfolds here with a patient grace, markets buzz with fresh produce, Aboriginal art flourishes in small galleries, and the slow, warm evenings invite reflection beside calm waters. This subtle temporal distinction is a gentle reminder that time, while universal, often carries the unique imprint of place, culture, and climate. From there, our gentle journey brings us to +10:00, the Australia/Sydney time zone, better known as Australian Eastern Standard Time. Sydney and its surroundings live 10 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, moving with a familiar ebb and flow shaped by the changing seasons. Unlike Darwin, this region observes daylight saving time, adjusting clocks forward and back to capture the long, luminous days of summer and the cooler, softer light of winter. The urban hum of Sydney pulses in time with this clock, from the iconic sails of the Opera House glimmering in the afternoon sun to the quiet retreats of leafy suburbs where jacaranda blossoms fall like lilac snow. With daylight saving, the evenings stretch longer, inviting peaceful strolls along Bondi Beach or lingering dinners under stars. The rhythm of this time zone balances the demands of city life with a natural cadence, reminding us that time's flow can be gently nudged to better match our needs, allowing moments to linger just a little longer before dusk settles softly on the harbor. But first, a slow little detour. For this extra interesting fact. At +10:30 lies Australia/Lord_Howe, governing the small, remote Lord Howe Island in the Tasman Sea. This time zone is one of the rare few worldwide to feature a 30-minute daylight saving adjustment, shifting between UTC +10:30 and UTC +11 depending on the season. This subtle temporal shift means that during summer months, Lord Howe Island's clock runs 30 minutes ahead of Sydney time, creating a uniquely gentle and slightly earlier cadence to daily life. The island itself, a serene patchwork of coral reefs, towering palms, and rare bird species, moves in delicate harmony with this fractional timing, as if the clock slows just enough to savor the quiet lapping of waves and the gradual unfolding of island flora. This half-hour difference is not just a quirk of geography but a reflection of the islanders' desire for a timekeeping system that mirrors their environment and way of life, softly tailored, intimately felt, and quietly distinctive in the vastness of the Pacific's endless blue. Now we drift to +11:00, the Pacific/Noumea time zone, which governs New Caledonia, a French territory nestled in the shimmering expanse of the South Pacific. This time zone, precisely 11 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, remains steadfast throughout the year, for New Caledonia chooses not to sway with daylight saving adjustments. The steady, unchanging pulse of New Caledonia Standard Time matches the island's own slow, deliberate rhythms, where verdant rainforests blend seamlessly into crystal-clear coral lagoons, and the vibrant conic culture thrives in harmony with the land and sea. Here, The clock's soft ticking marks the slow sway of palm fronds and tropical breezes and the gentle rise and fall of tides lapping against sandy shores. The absence of clock changes allows daily life to unfold with predictable ease, a soothing cadence that suits the island's peaceful pace. This temporal consistency aids communication and coordination not only within the Pacific but also with distant metropolitan France, bridging vast distances through shared time. Let us float gently onward, imagining the quiet harmony of Nouméa's beaches and marketplaces, where the clock measures moments with unhurried grace, quietly knitting together tradition and modernity beneath the expansive blue sky. Drifting further east to +12:00, we enter the time zone of Pacific/Auckland, the heart of New Zealand's bustling urban life and scenic surroundings. New Zealand's Standard Time, 12 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, governs this land of sweeping fjords, rolling hills, and vibrant cultural traditions. Yet the clock here does not beat with unyielding constancy. Instead, it gently shifts during summer months, advancing by an hour to New Zealand Daylight Time. This seasonal dance with daylight allows Aucklanders to savor long, lingering evenings, quiet strolls along harbors, contemplative hikes beneath towering mountains, and the soft glow of twilight stretching its fingers over the city. New Zealand's position just west of the international date line grants it a special place in the world's temporal tapestry, often welcoming the new day before much of the globe stirs awake. This unique vantage point carries a symbolic weight, echoing through Maori narratives and modern urban rhythms alike. The clock's steady tick intertwines with indigenous customs and contemporary life, weaving time into a living, breathing mosaic that bridges past and present beneath the vast southern sky. Let us float gently onward, feeling the quiet pulse of this island nation as it turns softly toward tomorrow. Let us float gently onward to +12:45, the curious fractional zone of Pacific/Chatham, which governs the Chatham Islands, a small, remote archipelago nestled in the vast Pacific Ocean, east of New Zealand's main islands. This peculiar time zone, 12 hours and 45 minutes ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, stands out like a delicate gear in the intricate clockwork of the world. The Chatham Islands are one of the rare places on Earth to adopt a 45-minute increment, a subtle division of time that gently reshapes the way days unfold here. Throughout the warmer months, daylight saving time nudges this forward to 13 hours and 45 minutes ahead, stretching the evenings just a bit longer to catch the lingering light. This fractional adjustment reflects a careful attunement to the island's unique position relative to the sun's journey, where morning light spills softly over rolling hills and sea breezes whisper through dense bushland. Life here moves in harmony with the rhythm of nature, the half-hour difference acting as a quiet guardian of local tradition and practicality. As we drift in this gentle time bubble, the Chatham Islands remind us that timekeeping is not always about strict uniformity but about the subtle art of fitting clocks to the contours of daily life. Floating onward to +13:00, Pacific/Tonga Tapu beckons us to Tonga, a tranquil archipelago suspended in the South Pacific's warm embrace. This time zone, 13 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, holds steady throughout the year, for Tonga does not partake in the seasonal shifting of daylight saving time. The constancy of this temporal rhythm allows islanders to live in tune with the sun's steady arc, from dawn's first light filtering through palm fronds to evenings that settle softly with the gentle lap of ocean waves. Positioned near the international date line, Tonga enjoys the poetic distinction of being among the very first places on Earth to welcome a new day, where morning arrives with a hushed promise and an unhurried grace. The steady cadence of Tonga time weaves itself into the fabric of everyday life, guiding fishermen to sea, marking the time for communal gatherings, and setting the pace for quiet moments of reflection beneath starry skies. Here, time is felt not as a rush but as a gentle pulse, a tender companion to the slow dance of island life in a world vast and blue. Let us drift gently onward to +14:00, where Pacific/Christmas, also known as Christmas Island, holds a place at the very frontier of Earth's temporal map. This extraordinary time zone sits 14 hours ahead of Coordinated Universal Time, making Christmas one of the very first places on the planet to greet each new dawn. The island's unique positioning stems from the International Date Line's eastward curve, an intentional bending that places the island in a temporal spotlight far ahead of most other regions. Despite this symbolic prominence, life on Christmas moves with a calm and measured pace, the steady ticking of clocks accompanying the gentle sway of coconut palms and the endless horizon of the Pacific Ocean. Here, the +14:00 offset serves as a quiet reminder that while time is a universal construct, it is also deeply personal, felt in the local rhythms of fishing villages, sun-warmed beaches, and the slow unfolding of coral atolls. In this earliest corner of tomorrow, the delicate balance between global coordination and intimate daily moments reveals time as a soft, flowing current rather than a rigid, mechanical beat. If your eyes are closed, if your thoughts are drifting, then my job here is done for today. Thank you for spending this unremarkable moment with me. You have listened to The Sleepy Sloth, where uninteresting things become the softest lullabies.